And we are live coming to you from the Dirty South. That's right, boys. With a little respect on it. Include me in the shit and let's go. If you won't let me in, I'm just gonna force my way in. Knock down the doors, son. Uh yeah, a lot of stuff going on this week. Just some foolishness to me. Uh, you know, people with true feelings. I'm not going to take away their feelings. Uh, Sorry, I'm trying to purchase a hat, a couple of hats actually. Uh, so, how's everybody doing tonight? Y'all might be wondering what's the respect thing. A few people feeling disrespect. I guess I don't know, disrespected, not being included. That's one way to feel about things. Uh, what's up, Brian? I talked about it yesterday a little bit. I feel bad if you don't if you. I felt like I've been on the outside, uh, but not in this community. This community was very welcoming. Now you have to take the good with the bad, right? So I felt like, what's up, Donham? I said, hey, what's going on? uh, so you know my title is actually a song. If you watch Rob Van Dam in the ECW days, he came out to it. Uh, uh, Respect. Look it up. Great song. Uh, but so yeah, I feel like some people, for whatever reason, really do feel disrespect or not disrespected, but just feel like they're an outsider. And man, I think we've all been there for whatever reason. Um, I think I'm sorry. I am buying a couple of hats. I bought 3 hats today. What's a deep Pirates? Yeah, RESPECT. It's a different song, but same thing. And she said it. If you ain't gonna give it to me, I'm gonna take it. You know, uh, but I feel like in this community, especially on here, right? I think a lot of people do feel like they get looked down on. I know I feel like that by certain people. Name names. We all know that. Uh, we all know one of the names is. Now you put me on a spot. I can't think. Sammy Thunder, and I read his thing. I felt generally it hit me in the feels. Y'all know I'm emo. I have emotions. Um, I have felt in other areas like I don't belong. I don't. I'm not. We all feel like an outsider at some point. Um, I have to say, man, getting to know and knowing that there's people out there that is as crazy as I am collecting cardboard pictures. Um, that you know, and there's other. I still heart you and a non creepy friend. Thanks for falsy. I miss you, brother. Miss running into you out in Iowa shows, man. I missed you at the. I was looking for you around the auto area for at the national, and I guess you didn't make it this year. But uh, you know, I really do hope that feeling goes away, and I hope it's just something for him, that it's something just in this. Because if it's just this, who gives a really, man? At the end of the day, you got family, you got jobs, uh, my brother Mike O.
What up, Scott?
What's going on? He could tell you we have more things going on in the real world than the card community, right? So that's the stuff we really need to stay focused on. This is to get us away from that. And if you're feeling like you're stressed because you don't belong, find something else. Because I don't know how much more embracing this community is. What's up, Paul? Couldn't make it. No time. All started a new job a few months before the national. I think you told me that. I remember something about that, and hope to see you soon. I'm trying to make up a reason to get back to Iowa for some reason, and I don't know. It ain't gonna be a long stick, and it's not gonna be in the winter. But
They got to bring back that baseball game. They gonna do any more of those Field of Dream games, or are they done?
I don't know. The best game of the year is on tonight, and it's not because the Mets are playing.
Well,
I love
that's a given.
But I love this Williamsport game. I'm actually watching. I don't have the audio on, of course, but the kids version of the game. But Mike, how long have you been doing videos?
I don't know. Pretty long.
Right.
At least 10 years, 11 years, probably.
Okay, 10, 11 years. I know Hitman said he's coming up on 9 years, and me and him are really. He's got a little bit more subs than I do, 700. And I know it's not all about sub counts and all that stuff, but when people are saying they're not included, I like to know what they're meaning by that. Is it their friend group? Because I think he's in a good group of guys. I thought they got along great at the show. I thought they did well at the show. What they did on Saturday night, and I still feel for them. But then other people have come in feeling the same way, that they're not feeling included. And
I guess things have just changed. Back in the day, because obviously YouTube, like the hobby, at least I should put it a different way. Not even YouTube. Content, as people like to call it, really took off and escalated as the hobby truly escalated 2020 beyond 2020. It's a different world. Like there have been there are videos about baseball cards since the very beginning of YouTube. Few and far between, all kinds of random stuff. It's one of those things it's probably hard to even search out now. But back in the day, like a long, long time ago, I'm assuming most of the people in here, and I don't know, that's a total assumption, that most of the people who listen to your show haven't, maybe they've been on YouTube for 5 years, maybe even 10 years. I don't know. But like way back 10, 12, 13 years ago, there would always be random people who just make random videos, but there was a community of people who made videos where everyone kind of participated and watched. And there was a period of time where you could literally watch every single person's video, for the most part, nightly, because it would be like maybe 50, 75, even 100 channels. Not every person's putting out a video every day. So it was very easy to keep up with it, and everyone was more or less somewhat included, and people would comment and stuff. Clearly, as years come and go, people leave, people disappear, people leave the earth. Like, we've seen it all here in the real world. And things have grown and grown and grown, and we're now at the point where there are literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of channels, active and inactive. It is not possible anymore to watch more than 2% of the videos that get put out. Obviously, the other thing that has changed is back in the day, there were not corporate channels. There are now corporate channels, and there's a lot of corporate channels. There's big corporate channels and there's small corporate channels. One of the reasons that I grew in subs at a certain point a long time ago, and I have since tailed off, like my sub count is pretty solid, but I do not grow at all now. I probably boosted some subs at the National because I was putting out videos consistently, but I probably, if I really wanted to, or if I had the time, and if I made that natural goal, would have a pretty good head start to jump. But at this, I used to be like a very, very, very top channel in terms of subs, in terms of sports card channels, because there weren't that many channels. But what happens now is I, for one, so what I was getting at, one of the reasons I grew is because back in the day, I did video production stuff. I did that back in school. I've done side projects and jobs and worked in that stuff for a period of time. So I actually did used to do some pretty, not amazing videos, but like different. I didn't just do the grainy video in a dark room thing. I did the national vlogs 2015. I did some stuff with like bigger cameras, and I think that's what caught attention at one period of time. Even some of the old box breaks just looked pretty good, even using microphones. And now you could go back and they wouldn't be at all impressive, because now we all have these great phones that take excellent video and excellent audio and all that. So that was a differentiation. Nowadays, everyone does it. So it's going to be harder to grow. But the other point is, most people now, and I know it's hard for some people to grow, and some people stall out, and some people get connected in the right way, or have the right topics, or just have all the time in the world to specifically plan their videos and put them out at a certain time. But instantaneously now, back in the day, it would take you a long time to gain even 100 subscribers. I'm talking maybe like a full year. Now you can have 100 subscribers in a week, and you can have hundreds. Now you may stall out once you get to 400 or 500. It may take you a while. But like, I see channels with like a couple thousand subscribers, and they act like they're not getting any momentum. And like, it is going to be tough, but like, gained a lot of momentum, and you have a lot of people who are watching your videos. So that's, I guess, the perplexing thing if you've been around a long time. Now, if your goal is to become a hobby icon through social media, well, it's going to be difficult, and you're going to have to use all platforms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the problem is, I think now people look at Sports Card Investor. You know, the reasons his videos go out, like, you have to keep in mind, he's not making any money off his videos in all likelihood. Like, obviously he has sponsorships and he's getting money in that, but like, that's just part of his overall business. He's using that more to help sell his products with his store and all his online sales, because he has a whole team of productions. He has a studio. He has a guaranteed expensive cameras. He's got camera operators, editors, stuff like that. There's even a lot of smaller channels that are still big, 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers, but like, they're paying editors. A lot of people you see, if you've been to the National, you have Santiago Sports, and there's plenty of others. He's just someone who stands out. See at the Philly show.
Let me interrupt you real quick, Mike, about the National. This year was more production-wide YouTubers out there. I've been in the background of more videos and pictures. I've heard at least 2 different people tell me I've been in the back of a video.
I'm sure I've been in a bunch. Like, I know I walked into a few. I didn't seek any of them out.
Yeah. So,
my point is, these guys who are selling cards and card collector to all of them, like, they have camera operators putting out. So of course they're going to get content. So they're paying someone to film the videos, and then they're paying people to edit them and stuff. Like, they're not doing it on their own. So, I mean, if that's what you're worried about, then that's what you got to prepare to do. Treat it the same way you would if you wanted to open up a pizzeria, or if you want to open up a bar. Like, save up a shit ton of money, prepare to spend, $50,000 on equipment, and be prepared to spend, $150,000 a year to pay people to do the stuff. Like, if that's your goal, and if your goal is to just enjoy the hobby and make this an extension of your hobby and document your thing and hopefully make some friends along the way. And hey, maybe you're lucky enough to do enough to get some money in per month, or perhaps, even lucky enough to get some sponsorships and stuff. That's great. But if you're trying to make it a career, then you got to think about it a whole different way. For me, at this point, I do it because I've done it for a long time. I enjoy doing it. And there's a reason I know that things have stalled out, because I put no effort into it. I try and make my videos look nice, and I try and make them sound nice, but I also show off things I purchase. I'm purchasing Phillies cards for my Phillies collection because that's my current focus. And I understand there's some people who watch my videos because they enjoy me. Some people who watch them because they might enjoy the Phillies. There's some people who might just, have a pit in their stomach as they're watching my videos because they hate the Phillies. Maybe the two guys on here, especially, I'm sure they're not thrilled if they see a Chase Utley card, but perhaps they enjoy the stories.
Yeah, but we also, the reason why we connected so well is we collect similar, and same with Dave.
Yeah.
It's like we're collectors. Broncos 79 on here. He's like that too. There is definitely a separation between collector. I don't see why there's a difference between vintage and modern collectors, especially when most people collect both or all anyway. Only a few collect one or the other, and that's it. But
obviously, I understand there's going to be a basic interest, right? Like if you do a 2-hour video about wrestling, I'm probably going to check out all 2 hours because I ain't going to know what the hell you're talking about. If you show off some wrestling stuff, I can appreciate your enjoyment of it. And there's always been, I never used to connect with the guys who did only basketball stuff back in the day because, like, I just don't give a shit. Like, I could care less.
Right.
Like, I had Kobe Bryant rookies back in the day that were probably worth a lot.
Yeah, at least you're doing baseball. And, I mean, I don't care if it's Phillies. I like cards. And
I mean, I'm just saying, like, mine is
all Chase Utley channel. I might have an issue with that.
I might start that. We'll see. What's up, Dave?
Yeah.
What's up? I'm just trying to make a quick cameo, let people know so I can be YouTube famous. And
yeah, here's my question to both of y'all too. Do you think people that come into our hobby, this is their hobby, but they watch other YouTube channels and stuff, and they feel like, hey, I can do this. I really like cards, yada, yada, yada. I know a bit about them. I could do this. And I think they get a false thought that they could come in and be like some other channels on YouTube and get, 100,000 subs, and it's easy. When you come in our field, I mean, Mike Moorhan just got 10,000 at the National, which is pretty cool. You're going to do it at the National. But the whole thing about, that is a special channel. To have 10,000, that's a grind.
But that's even something like
that's impossible.
Obviously, Mike has he's obviously been around for a while. He's been the subject of many other videos for a while for, at sometimes some questionable decisions, but overall, he's been a net positive in the hobby. Absolutely. But think about how much he does. He does videos virtually daily. He shows really nice shit. He's showed Texas Rangers cards worth $2. He's admitted to having a Josh Hamilton collection. He's done a little bit of everything video-wise. He's done them consistently year after year. He's been on Chasing Cardboard, which is obviously a big channel. He's been on a shitload of other channels. He's literally showed up on every channel, and he just hit 10,000. That shows how hard it is.
Right.
Because no matter what your opinion is of Mike, he's absolutely put in the effort.
Right.
And it's taken him all these years to hit 10,000. Right. So think about that. I don't know if I'm guessing he's been on where he's been on consistently has probably been 7-8 years, something like that.
Right.
Doing it daily.
7, 8, yeah.
Doing it daily, and he just hit 10,000. So if you're in your first year or two and you're 1,000 or 2,000, you're doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, and that's why. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I think a lot of people, with the Instagram and the YouTube, and people become famous doing this stuff. They kind of think they can be doing that, and it's not going to happen in cards. It's just not.
No, not unless you transcend the like Jeff Wilson. I mean, and he's not famous, but he's probably known outside of here in some circles.
Nah, I mean, I bet you. I kind of he's a card related guy. I think if he went into Hollywood, no one would know who he is.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about more as in entrepreneurship. Somewhere.
Maybe, yeah.
He's a nobody when it comes to Gary Vee. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
in terms of popularity,
me and you talked about this earlier. Is like that Gary Vee friends. We don't V friends, whatever it's called. You don't hear about it all year long. You show up at the National and it's this huge thing, and then it's gone away the day after the National. We don't even know what it is. It's for kids, so it's not for us to begin with. But still, it's weird. It's this guy just this one weekend of the year, and he's that popular. I don't know why.
Remember, Gary Vee's a different story because Gary Vee was known and got into cards,
right?
Where he was already known before that. So that's where he can come and do his V friend card stuff, and he can probably go talk about other stuff. And he's a famous guy now. If you start off with cards, and he's not going to become famous from there unless you go into other genres.
I don't know about that, Zach. I don't. I mean, Gary. I think the hobby is more segmented than ever before. I think so, and the reason it is, Eric, and yeah, which is fine. And I think more the reason is the expense of it. You can't collect the way you used to. It's just impossible. You can't buy everything. You can't have, like I used to do. I can't say like I used to do. 90s came along. It was just too much stuff and just way too expensive. Gary Vee has a channel on Pluto TV. Well, there you have it. It's impossible. So you have to kind of choose where you're going to put your hobby money, right? And I have more than just card. I have a comic book sitting here. I got video games, Batman. I have more interest.
Winnie the Pooh.
I have Winnie the Pooh back yonder. Hats.
Dude, my wife's shaking her head at you right now.
Oh, really? Well, that's why I'm not married. But anyway, I just have a lot of interest in. So that's why when I speak of other things on YouTube, I just don't watch card content. I watch other content and video games. If you know what you're doing and get into video games and really push, you can get 100,000 subs, but you have to grind at it. And that's another welcoming group. But this cards. I mean, we talked about it today, Mike. Let's talk about it for a second. Boxes of finest. Beautiful cards. Beautiful inserts. I don't like the set up. I really don't. I don't like the 100 card, common, uncommon, rare, all that bullshit. I'd never have when they've done that type of thing. But it's not a $300 product. It's not a $400 product. It's a $175 product, $190 product. So, like our buddy Fomington in his group over there said earlier or last week, they are making these boxes, and it's not for us. It's for the breakers and the breaker culture we're living in. So, yes, we are segmented because the pricing of it all. But you don't have to be totally one or the other. You can dabble in a little bit. So, I'm sitting here putting away cards tonight. I went from pre-war to Clemente to Pete Alonso and and everything in between. And I'm still in that mindset of the 80s where I was buying everything and just collecting cards. And yes, I had my Gary Carter book and all that stuff, but I would want all the stars, not just rookies. So things have changed. But this finest product really kind of, I knew prices went up. I thought they were coming back down, but that
Not
price,
when it comes to wax.
man, that is just
Yeah, Bowman's Best will be the same. All this shit will be the same.
Just collect
Bowman's
singles.
Best. Top, what is Heritage? Are we going to have a high number? That's the question every year at this time. Today's folks would poop themselves if they try to make insert sets now without the internet. Yeah. Well, Eric, this has been I would love for them to come out. You want to make an archives or a nice heritage set? Don't do any inserts. Make it a 660 card set or whatever it used to be. Have an all-star section in it and number it 1 through whatever, and that's it. Put like a 10-card glossy set on the front and, call it a day and see. I'd buy it, but I'll probably be about the only one buying it.
I would love a giant set, but most people would not.
Right.
I would not.
When are Walmart breaks officially starting, and will the Rockies be on rollback? Yeah, that's probably. But but we're also talking today where I think they're really, for sure. But I'm talking 1993 Ultra inserts. Oh yeah. I also wonder, right? Today we a lot since I came back watching the National, went there, seeing how the wax prices where they almost felt like they had you boxed in, and had to pay if you're going to buy wax to break with friends, you're going to have to pay even higher than what we were paying in the secondary market before there. It's just going to be a new world we're living in. And like we were talking, Mike, you brought up a great point today when we were talking. You were saying, if you're a Yankees fan and you go into a break and you pay $400 for the Yankees and a finest 5-case break or a case break or whatever, that's the price of a box. And if you get all cards, make sure you're getting all cards. If they offer, try to get that type of thing. That's a better way to go. You get all of them that way, and you're gonna have to figure out.
You can definitely still get smoked, but
yeah, you're gonna definitely go. What I feel like you got kicked in the nuts. But it's really tough. You got to figure out where to spend your hobby money right now, and if it's wherever, and I will probably, some of this stuff will probably get sold again later. I don't know on some, but my cards. Here's a topic too I want to touch on real quick. Now that I'm talking about this, and it just came to mind. I guess Ford collectors are asking if you would sell your hobby today, and would you start over or sell your cards? Jason had a good video today, Mr. Fisher Bike, talking about he would if he got the price, fair market value for his cards. I probably would not, because there's too many cards that I would want to keep, that or have too sentimental value or mean to have. I have made a shelf of some meaningful stuff back behind me of just this year's National, and I think that's what I'm going to start doing for when I go somewhere, things that mean something to me. So. Yeah, and I mean, would you sell your collection, Mike, as much effort and time you put into it?
I mean, if I had to sell it for some reason,
Just to say you didn't have to sell it.
Then I'm probably not going back into it. Would I sell the entire collection? Why would I?
Right.
Maybe in like 50 years, if I, was like, all right, well, things are winding down. I don't know what to do with this shit. Like, I could give the money to someone else or use it for something else, maybe. But there's definitely stuff in my collection I should sell, but the amount of work it will take to even dig that stuff out, it's going to be a while. And that stuff that I would want to move probably will be a little tough to sell.
Right. For me, it's more of how I'm connected to that stuff. How I got it, the amount of means I've gotten it. I worked hard and long, 53 years, right? I've been on this earth. Not all of it collected, but a lot of it, a large majority of it is been collecting. And part of the fun that I have when I've been selling some of my collection. That's why I hear, I would sell it and I would change how I'd collect. Well, you don't have to sell it to change how you collect.
Well, the thing is, we all make adjustments too, right? I still collect vintage non-Phillies cards. I just don't pick them up as often because I have a lot of the big ones I want. And as far as the brand new stuff, there's definitely cool thing. I used to keep one of everything, and I no longer do that, but I still have a lot of the older stuff, which I'm sure I have some big time Otanis and Judges that just, I'll find in some boxes at some point because I did it. Now it's not that I wouldn't want to keep a little more of certain things. It's just at a certain point, it becomes much. That's why at some point I went, you know what? I do need to focus in. So when it comes to the brand new stuff, I'm going to focus in on the Phillies stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't love it all. I love the sport of baseball. I love watching the games. I obviously have a special place for the Phillies, but I enjoy it all. Whether the Phillies are good or not good, I always get excited for opening day, and I always get excited for the postseason and all that. So, and it's the same thing with football. I used to do a lot more football, and I'll do a little bit now, but I kind of just phased it out a little bit because, the hobby's gotten pretty damn expensive. So, how much can you do? So I'll pick up some New England stuff when it comes, but I kind of am a little nostalgic with some of even the new stuff. I'll pick up some of the players from yesteryear, and if I break a box of something, I'll keep a few, and I might buy an insert or two if it's cheap, but I don't seek it out a crazy amount. Not that I don't really like it. It's just they make so much stuff nowadays, and the older you get, the more you think you'll have time to do it. But in reality, there's so many distractions in life that you only have so much time to dedicate to the hobby as well.
How about you, Dave? Would you sell your cards? And I don't know.
No.
I'm going to sell them all and buy sweatshirts.
The problem would be if I sold it all, I'd just go try to buy the whole stuff right again. Now, I might go a little more raw than some graded stuff. Because I just don't care anymore about having everything fully graded. And the stuff I'm buying is not really expensive anyway. So I could either buy, I bought a Fred Taylor Topps rookie from '98, right? I could have bought the graded card for $10, or I could buy the ungraded card for $2. And I went with the $2 one now. So, that would be the only thing I'd change. And then I've always thought, you start watching say Nate's videos and he's collecting his Barry Bonds stuff. And I'm like, man, I really would like to do a player run of somebody. Like Patrick Ewing or any of my favorite Jets or
Mookie Wilson.
Yeah, well, that'd be
do someone who's cheap.
Yeah, but if I wanted to say Patrick Ewing, just my favorite Nick of all time. With all the new stuff out there, I'd get bored. It's just too much stuff. And even with the rookie stuff, it kind of gets where you're like, oh man, I can't get every one of these rookies, especially with all the parallels. So it's I don't think I'd change nothing. I think I like the way I do things. I stick to my realm of the older players and then a little bit of modern stuff, but I think I'd pretty much collect exactly the same. And no, I did not find a sweatshirt for my wife at the National.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It always comes back, what you collect or what you do differently. And I'm wondering, why do you have to get rid of your collection to do it? I always talk about evolving. I've changed. Let me
jump in real quick. So example, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was like end of 2018 ish, right? Or middle of 2018. I needed some money, so I sold a lot of my autographs. All the retired guys, I sold a bunch of them. And then when I didn't need the money, I ended up buying them all back anyway. Maybe not the exact ones, but the
Right.
same players. So like, even though got rid of some of these guys, I'm like, no. As soon as I was able to do it again, I bought it. I went exactly looked after the guys I already sold.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think I'd want them all back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, yeah, we tight spots, whatever, selling things. I'm selling things to make room, and then I've got stacks of shit that I bring into the house. So I don't know if I'm really in my mind, I'm doing something, I guess. But I have seen why people have fun selling. There is something to that, and it's been, that part of the hobby I've missed, and now I'm just as much part of it as anybody else. I'm a flipping son of a bitch now, so but it's for whatever reason you're doing it. Buy, sell, keep, don't sell, whatever. It's your hobby. So, and that's what everything that we've been talking about, know why you're getting it. When you get into YouTube, get what you want out of it. When you get into this hobby, get what you want out of it. If not, change things. Just change things. Change how you do it. If you want to be, I don't know where you want to be included, but talk to those people. I got an open door policy here. I'll give anybody a chance, almost anybody one chance. I got a couple people on the list that don't have that chance. They already burnt that bridge with me. I don't know who they are, but in my mind they have. I mean, I know I'm a small channel, and I don't know how much I can help you out, but I'll do what I can. In the hobby, find out what you like. Like Eric said, it's very, but I think some people get into it along with getting into this YouTube at the same time, and then it becomes a chore because that's your identity as a YouTuber, is what you're collecting. I noticed the Gary Carter / Pete Alonso guy. That's kind of, but I'm bigger than that. I try to show that, but that's who I am. But I'm not going to go out and buy those things just to prove that's who I am. I'm going to buy what I want to buy and enjoy it. And I think if people just enjoy themselves, be damned of the outcome. That's why we have jobs. When I go to work, I got to go to work. Yes. And there's people out there that do what they love, but sooner or later, it's still a job, and you're going to hate it at the end of the day.
Okay. Let me jump in here for a second. So, talk about jobs. We were talking earlier, people joining YouTube, why are they doing it? And the same thing, there's a lot of people that have loved the hobby, and they try to turn it into a business, because it ends up ruining their hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I would tell everybody, just be a collector. If you want to be a seller, but don't try to do both. It's you can do both, but not primarily. The hobby always has to come the first part. When you try to make other stuff your job, like YouTube, you want to make it feels like a job to you. It's probably not going to be fun anymore. It's ruining your hobby. Keep the hobby number one. And
that's why. That's why Ed's picture on there, the photo he used, has that scowl, because Ed lost the love for both the hobby and YouTube a long time ago, because he just made him his jobs. So that's why he's all upset looking with his long hair.
That's my boy the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Is the Hound. Hey Ed, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey guys. Enjoying the discussion. Figured I'd jump on in since the link was sent over.
There's no hobby. You've talked about that for years now. Since
I got to bring it back, because a lot of the stuff I'm seeing, I'm like, fellas, let's not. There's no celebs or pedestals here. We're all the same. We're all just collect cards now.
Yeah, yeah, and Eric's always happy to see you, and I'm always happy to see you too, Ed.
Eric, real quick, did you ever get your check from Ed for all the royalties he owes you?
Yeah,
I'm
Dave.
saying day zero.
Yeah,
It was a nickel. Every time I say it, I got
Nickel. It was a lot of nickels.
a lot of nickels. Yeah. So, Ed, you've been vocal on our group chat with this, and you actually what you put on Mangini's thing was well thought out, really. So, just kind of follow up on what your thoughts are on, people. What this? I don't. Is it a phenomenon? We go through this about once a year, twice a year with groups just of people deciding they're done or they're going to slow down or take a break or whatever the words. What is your thought, Ed?
I mean, burnout is definitely not a new phenomenon here on YouTube. Mike and Dave can attest. There's been hundreds of people and channels that have come and gone over the years that we've been here. It happens, but it seems that the sentiment recently is spiking a little bit, and people just voicing frustration, I guess, at a lack of people checking out their channels, or I'm not sure what the core issue of the frustration is, but it's just like it seems like a lot of people are not having a good time on here. And I always say YouTube's for me, YouTube has always been about documenting my collection and documenting my collecting journey and all the friendships that are forged along the way. And it's an extension of my fandom. And I don't get burned out, or I've never taken a break because it's not a job for me. It's just a way to connect with friends and, like I said, to document my collecting journey. And I think that's why guys like Nate, Tops 85 401, Mike O, Dave, baseball collector, any guys that have been around longer than 10 years, Garrett, card cutter, like those back pages, Eric is in here. That's why we've stayed around along, because I don't think we approach it as a job. We're just approaching it as a journey, as a way to document our collections and just to explore friendships.
Yeah, and if for example, if Ed or myself, if we get tempted, like say, I don't know how much people in here know about like Phillies prospects, but like you have Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. They're all like hyped Phillies prospects. Well, if Ed or I were to get tempted to be like, hey, should we buy one of their autographs, some expensive parallel right now, or should we maybe wait? Ed and I can go back to 2018, 2019, watch one of our own old videos and go, holy shit, I can't believe I bought those Scott Kingerys that I can now get for $1.50. Maybe I'll wait on the prospect cards. It can be a life lesson for yourself too. I make a funny joke, but it is, built in some level of reality. Right, Ed? You got some Scott Kingery videos, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we definitely have a few.
I definitely do too.
I had that when I got called an asshole at the Philly show by a dealer. It was because of a Scott Kingery card.
That was a great moment.
Anybody that watched my videos 9 years ago, saw my Jason Morrow and Calvin Pryor super collection that really worked out for me.
But then again, if someone took your advice with Geno Smith and bought at the low, they could have at least done okay. Made a couple bucks.
Or they could be like, maybe sold most of them and then regret it now.
Yeah. The original Geno Smith investor.
I usually every year have a rookie or two that I'm kind of high on. I usually have a Met, or this year we only really have one rookie this year that we're buying, and I really got connected with Woods and a few other people. Second half of the year for Woods not been that great, but one day, and I'm going to be right. I gotta be right once, right? So that's the way it is with the prospecting, or not even. I like a young player.
It also depends what you're paying too, and like I make fun of the Kingery thing, but I don't think Ed or I have ever spent big money on like a prospect rookie type of guy. I'm just that's the one part of the hobby I don't get, and I get you can win big, but like I don't get the people who pay, spend thousands upon thousands of dollars a year for 17, 18, 19-year-olds that ultimately never play in the majors. That I think is bizarre. You can convince me why collect the stories of the pre-war guys and the rarity, or the vintage guys, the classics and stuff, or the guys you grew up from the 80s or the current stuff. But unless you have a kid or something in the minors, I don't understand how people are so passionate about the prospects. But whatever, I think it's more of a gambling aspect.
Well, Bowman for me used to be fun to pick up because nobody cared about Bowman. Nobody, and then all of a sudden, the prospecting from basketball and football exploded over into the baseball, and they're trying to treat it the same way, and it's just not the same thing. Remember back with Jason Dominguez and that group came in, it was just nuts to me. It turned out, hey, I could spend a couple of dollars on these first cards, but in reality, most people want them in their rookie cards. After their rookie card, nobody cares about the first card.
I was going to say, it's like amazing how many like fantastic players you can get very cheap.
Right.
Like in their first Bowman autos or first Bowman cards.
Exactly. That's a definite striking the iron while it's hot type of deal there.
Like one of the things you mentioned, Mangini, and we were talking about his video earlier. One of the comments that I left him, about understanding your why. I know that I'm not trying to get philosophical or, do deep thinking here, but I think it is very important, especially if you're going to do card videos on here, to understand why you are doing them. What do you want to get out of it? And I think, again, I go back to that blasted pandemic. But with the pandemic, I think a lot of things got skewed in the hobby. A lot of things changed for the worse. There were some things that changed for the better, but overall, a lot of things got taken away. A lot of things went the other direction and are no longer as good. And so much money got pumped into the hobby. And I think it skewed people's visions on what their why is, on why they're doing this.
Right.
And you can see it. It feels like a job for some people. I mean, imagine doing like, I don't know, 3 to 4 videos every week about the value of your collection. Like, to me, I can see how, like, your blood pressure is probably rising. It feels like a job. It's not fun. It certainly doesn't seem fun to me on the outside looking in. If you're living and dying almost weekly on the value of your collection.
I don't understand how people have time for that, but
because
every now and then I'll look at a card and I'll be like, oh damn, this thing's worth way more than it was. And other times like, oh, well, I don't know what this was worth when I got it, but it sure as shit is worth less.
I'm
not here.
And I'm about value of anything.
I think another.
Not even my own value.
And I don't even think it's being done maliciously. I don't think it's being done on purpose. But I think people are lying to themselves. They keep going on about how they're a collector, but then they're so all consumed over the value and worth of the collection that it just seems...
Well, they're going to leave it to their kids when they die, Ed. They tell you this all the time.
Yeah, but as we discussed, there's other things you can leave your family than your card collection. That should just be the cherry or the sprinkles or jimmies on top of the sundae. That shouldn't be the bulk of the sundae.
Yeah, I'm going to leave you those and the Princess Diana plate set.
And again, I'm not saying that those feelings, like, I think that's what they truly believe. I do think they believe that because they seem very passionate and steadfast in those beliefs. But
and what's your hypothesis on this? Because it's one age group that's really stuck on this value thing. What's your hypothesis on why they worry about the value so much? So I think you're on to something.
Well, I think we got to look at the timeline of the hobby. You look at the timeline of the hobby, and it will provide more clarity to the answers. The timeline of the hobby is a lot of people, unfortunately, lost their ass in the early 90s.
Maybe they don't like their family and leaving them 50,091 Fleer seats exactly what they want. Ever think of that? Yeah, that's probably. I'm the same. Yeah, I want to enjoy my collection while I'm living. That's why I collect.
But
I don't know. But
another thing, and me and Mike Go have debated this a little bit. I feel like I've debated this with all you guys in our group chat. The way I look at cards, and I'll talk about value and worth here, I view buying cards, and this is just my personal opinion. I view it like going to a concert or going to a movie. When I go to a concert or when I go to a movie, I'm paying for an experience. I have fun. It's a memory. I highly enjoy it. Or I go to a sporting event. I go see the Phillies. I go see the Eagles. I don't get the money back from that event. So when I purchase a card, I don't particularly view it as, okay, I paid $100 for that card. That's $100 stored away. I don't look at it that way.
Yeah, I don't.
But then again, you're also talking about a guy who's never spent 4 figures on a card before. So
are you even a collector then, Ed?
So I want to try to see it from the other person's perspective.
You've never bought a comma card?
What's that?
You never bought a comma card?
What's a comma?
4 figures, $1,000 card.
Nah, never. The most money I've ever spent on a single card, I think, is like $600-$700.
Oh, congratulations!
I've traded for.
Part of me wishes that. Yeah, but okay.
But I've never spent actual cash for a 4-figure card. And again, some people might find that to be a repulsive thing.
I don't. I find that very poor. Right. But there's a lot of people in here. The reason they spend 5 figures on cards.
There's a lot of flexing
quite a
with
bit.
that.
And I think they're the ones that are more worried about the value.
Yes, to pull it back to that, I can maybe try to see it from that perspective as well. Because hey, if you're spending $60,000+ on a card, maybe my blood pressure would spike a little bit if it goes down 10%.
What's up,
but again, I think it's all how you view things, and I think a lot of this is brought on when you talking on the YouTube side of things. I think this is what happens when you feel disconnected from everything, from doing YouTube, from the hobby. It's when it feels like a job, when it should just be very simple. It should just be a hobby.
Yeah, that's my point. Was there? I don't know if you're. I just feel like a lot of these people, their channel, they especially when they get into it, and they're already, and as they're getting into it, they're kind of restarting, like whatever they're doing, and it becomes their identity, and they got to keep it up. So they start spending money. They got to start keeping their value up because that's what everybody else in that group or whatever else is going on is doing. And I think it's more when you show passion. I talked about this with Fabian at the thing. Talked about it Saturday. My gosh, I had just as much fun pulling cards out of the value boxes than I did pulling them out of the cases, right? I have just as much joy when I found a $2 card that I need for my collection that as I do when I get a $200 card. If not more sometimes. It just depends on what it is.
There's nothing I enjoy more than flipping through a box of old Phillies or flipping through my binders of my team sets. And those cards, for the most part, aren't worth shit. But
Right.
I see a card from 1989, and I remember opening, packs for my birthday with my dad. I see cards from 1993, and I remember all the special moments of the 93 Phillies team. I see cards from 1998, some complete bums the Phillies had. The cards are worth a penny if someone's generous. And I think about going to games and laughing about how bad the team was with my brothers. I see a card from 2008 of Brad Lidge, and I remember I don't give a shit about any other closer in baseball history. The greatest ever for me, and I'm not saying he's the greatest ever, but for my purposes of winning a World Series is Brad Lidge from that year. The special moments that I celebrated with my dad and my brothers and my friends and people I worked with. And that's the part of the hobby that definitely gets lost more so than ever nowadays because of the worry about the value type of things. And we see that all the time. And it is what it is. I mean, a few years ago, I remember I'd be watching breaks and people be doing a break and get a Vladimir Guerrero autograph card and be like, oh, I got the wrong Guerrero. And it's like, well, he's in the Hall of Fame and his son hasn't done a damn thing yet. Now, obviously, his son's been a very good player and we'll see what the future holds for him. He's, bounced back a little bit, but it's like, So it's just, there's some weird things that come up.
Another one in our friend group here, Hitman. Another Mike. If you watched his video, he had a care package, and he went to a show today and went through a 4-cent box. And I might have heard him wrong. Maybe the cards came out to be in 4 cent. I was doing other stuff while I was listening to him.
Multitasker.
I was actually packaging sales from my Smart Lots, but
flipping son of a bitch.
That's right. I'm a flipping son of a bitch. Anyway, but he had, especially on his care package one, the stories just bringing up things from the 90s, and it took me right back to it. I love that shit. That's why I love talking to my dad for our Monday show, to the remember wins, and that's I've talked about it 100 times. My collecting is an extension of my love for what that is I'm collecting. So when I collect baseball cards, I love baseball. I love Pete Alonso in a very non-sexual way. But I love the Mets, and so that's why I collect. I love Star Wars. I love Winnie the Pooh. So I collect those things. 25 for $1. So there you go. And listening to him go through those, it was like he spent $100 for each one of those cards. So, that's the thing. It's like, if you love what you're doing, you're already included, right? You already feel that inclusion because other people are going to see that love and embrace it, right? I love watching channels where the person, you could just, the enthusiasm just comes right out of the screen. That's why Nate is so good. Just watching him go through a binder, just random binder late at night, just because, and talk about his cards.
Well, it's another fun thing at the National when you see what people get at the end of the day.
Right. Yes.
I think it's fun when people show, and it's like you're generally happy for them. And I love cards enough that I would love to own them all. Obviously, that's not a possible task. But, when Dave picks up some autographs, it's like cool. And it's like the Eddie Murray or whoever you get, like you look at it, and even if I'm not looking for an Eddie Murray, I might be like, damn, that set's pretty damn awesome. Let me look into that set and see if there's anyone else in it or whatever. Or when you pick up, and like, again, I'm happy for you. You're an imperfect person. We're all imperfect. Your biggest flaw is you're a freaking Mets fan, and you love Pete Alonso in whatever way you will care to admit. But, that's fine.
That's a humbling experience with the National. You talking about it there. I think one of the takeaways that I take away from the National is when you go there and see the millions and millions of cards, it gives gravitas to you're never going to own every card.
Right.
You're
So
never
why have,
going to own
why have FOMO? That should help with your FOMO, right? Because it's always going to be something else. So get over the FOMO part of it because it's going to be something else. Don't worry. There's plenty of places to spend your money. That's my whole thing with that.
And even if you had an insane bankroll, let's say you brought $1 million to the National,
I wouldn't go far.
You're one of those 1% vintage high rollers. You're still not buying it all. You're going to be broke come Sunday if you're spending all your money.
I know I'm broke after National every time I go. So
very easy to do.
Yeah, so that actually came back with money, and then I went to another show. I still got money, so I'm doing good. And sold some of the stuff from the National that I ain't gonna call it free because I had to pay for a VIP ticket. So the stuff you get with the VIP stuff. So Scott was downplaying the bro hug potential if you ever ran into Alonso. Just saying. Oh, it'll be a polar bear to brown bear or whatever you want to call me. Just it will be a bro hug, definitely.
I think to try to circle back to what the majority of what the episode was about, I really feel that people need to get back to just keep it simple, go back to the fundamentals on YouTube. Just use it as a way to document your collecting journey, interact with people, stay engaged, watch other collector-based channels, build a friendship, build a relationship with people, and just share your love of collecting with everyone. And I feel like if you do that, you're never going to go wrong. Because in theory, if you're a collector and you are collecting, you can never make a bad purchase.
Right.
Right? Because it's not about value. It's not about worth.
That's if you're comfortable paying the price, which a smart gentleman that's in this chat group has said before to me, if you're comfortable making the price, you will never overpay. So if you feel comfortable buying it, then you'll never overpay. You'll enjoy the stuff, but if you gotta like it, it can't be just another piece, another whatever. And then if you bought this tremendous, you spent whatever for a card, and you go to show it, and nobody comes on your channel, or the people, enough people or the right people don't come on your channel, son of a bitch, to look at it, then you don't feel like it's worth it or included. Hey, why does nobody want to look at my 83 Bruce Sutter in a 7? I get that feeling that people come in here because I've said it before. Watch channels change, to fit what they thought people would watch, and and it's worked for some and not for others. So shout out to Snoop. What other hobby that if you quit gives you anywhere near what cards can? Yeah.
You said fit what people are wanting to watch.
Yeah.
So that right there, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're doing the videos to cater to other people when you should be catering to 100%. Your own journey.
100%.
Because we know we're making card videos. We're making card videos or talking about the card hobby. and I'm not trying to belittle, I'm not trying to minimize it, but it's a very small pond on YouTube.
No,
So
And
it's not even a pond, dude.
let me jump in here. I know I've said this a billion times too. So, when you're on YouTube, and I want to say you're making content, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Make a video showing some cards, stuff you love, not the content for people. When we started using the word content in YouTube, that's when the community kind of started going the opposite way. That word was never used
What's up, Ziggy?
pre-COVID. I don't remember anybody ever saying on YouTube, "I'm making content on YouTube." No, we're making videos. We're all making videos.
Yeah, but I think content now is just what you put on is content.
It is, but using the word and making videos to make content is the wrong way to do it. Like I said, no one ever said that word before up till COVID. And then all of a sudden now that when people are everybody's joining YouTube and some people seem to be unhappy because they can't put enough content out for their people. Right. No, don't even worry about that. Just make some crappy video showing some cards.
Right.
You'll be a lot more happy.
Yeah, and that's what use this as an extension. Your hobby should be an extension of whatever you're hobbying for, right? Whatever video games, whatever. And then when you come on here, use this to reflect and use and join and have all this is another way to meet and have groups of like-minded people and enjoy each other's company and have nerd outs. And that's all we're doing. We're having a nerd out. I don't get this in my everyday life. I don't have a bunch of friends in my neighborhood that collect cards. I don't.
You don't? Weird.
No, it's weird. So, I don't have this. I can't have this discussion with. I have it with my wall, but nobody else.
I mean, we're all hardcore, Scott. We're all hardcore if you think about it, because we're all sports fans, all four of us.
We're all nuts for sure.
Then on top of that, we all collect cards. We all collect cards. Then on top of that, stack that shit higher. We all make videos about these cards, and then we all post it on social media. So,
and worse yet, and we all once a year save up a bunch of goddamn money, get on a freaking missile or in a freaking car, and travel halfway across the country to freaking stay somewhere for 5 days to spend 8 hours a day walking around looking at cards, knowing that we're going to drain our wallets. So I would say certifiably nuts in the best of ways.
I said it yesterday. I'm sitting in my living room. So I make my living room into my card, whatever, my studio, whatever you want to call this thing, space. Because I needed more space. So my TV's in where my dining room's supposed to be with my chair, because that's where I watch when I want to read or watch a movie. It's nice and cozy over there, and it's close to the refrigerator.
Cozy.
Yeah, I like to be cozy.
I mean, anyone remember
ripping packs in his cozy chair?
I brought him up in a comment. I forget who. It might have been with Brent Richard. On a Brent Richards video, I left it. But Phil Hughes, ex-pitcher for the Yankees and for the Padres, got paid what? How much did he get paid, Mike? He got paid $20 million.
Too much.
To sit on his couch when he played on the Padres. He came in like a bat out of hell.
There should definitely be a warrant out for his arrest in San Diego.
He came in like a bat out of hell, busting cases of Dynasty and Transcendent, and he had an editing team. He had producers. He had the whole 9 yards. He had a whole crew behind him. Within 2 years, adios, amigos.
Yeah.
And you don't think his analytics department wasn't crunching the numbers? So, I guess temper expectations is what I'm saying. If that's how you're approaching making cards.
Yep. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's just have fun, make it what you want, and if it works in 8 years, I can tell you, I'm 6 years in. I ain't even got 700 subs. But man, do I love the 20-some people that have been on here tonight, talking to this group over here, talking to you guys. The people, how many people I know at the National is just crazy to me. The people that I had great connections with this year and chat with that don't have channels. Great.
I feel like if you want to gain some subscribers, you need to take that video I sent you and edit it together with the ending of one of your national recaps. Give it a really good title, some clickbait title, and
you want to know
help that video go viral. Maybe you'll pick up what's 100, 200 subscribers.
My best video out of anything about the National is
the National. I don't know. I'd have to
opening up the box in the car garage.
Where you had your good cameraman. See, that was the time where Big Scott, that's why he did well. He hired a cameraman. He had a producer for that. He had a director. And boom, content, baby.
So Hitman, they actually have at least 5 people in this group. So I don't know. I don't know if he's leaving because he kind of left it open because he still has 2 live channels and he's in 4 collectors. So I'm still very confused on where he was going with that whole statement he made. And whatever he chooses, I hope it works for him. And I hope it's just about the cards because it just sounded like maybe I read too much into it, but I hope there's nothing else going on in his life that maybe he needs to talk to somebody or something. So, I know, but I just wanted to touch on that because it was funny. There are no videos. There's only content. Praise the content gods. But that's what I just wanted to get to tonight, and I'm glad all of y'all got on here tonight with me, because I think we drilled this point home that it's more on like you put in Mangini's thing, and I watched Mangini's. He kind of was all over the place on that one, but you nailed it by saying what's your why, what are you getting to it, what's your reasonings, and if it's to where in 3 years I should have 6,000 subscribers and 1,000 views on every one and having, okay, sorry it didn't work out for you.
There's very few, obviously I also want to make the point, if you're putting in the effort to make videos, you absolutely want people to watch them.
Exactly.
I'm not saying, I would never say, oh, you're putting out videos and you want 12 people to watch them or 50 people or whatever you think is too little or too much. But to me, it just shouldn't be the sole focus. Every now and then I put out a video that I would like. I remember probably at this point a couple years ago, I did the one video with my dad doing an SGC reveal of cards that mean a lot to me because they're basically family heirlooms. And that was one where I didn't care how many viewers I got, but I was like, you know what, this should be a special video. This one I definitely would like to see get a, hundreds, maybe 1,000 views. I don't know what it was. I guess I could look it up if I wanted to. But when I do a mail day and it's a bunch of Phillies cards, I sit there and go, you know what? Maybe a couple hundred people click on it. Maybe someone like Ed or Reese or someone will put a nice comment, and that is what it is. I know what it's going to attract or not attract, and it's fine.
Right.
And there's a lot of times in those videos I show off very, very expensive cards, very, very rare cards, and I know most people aren't going to watch it, and the people who watch it probably don't even understand the significance of them, but that's fine too.
Well, I think now people the significance of a rare card or expensive card is in the eye of the beholder and what's in their mind, because people have lost track on what's rare or not, and not everybody really care. I really.
I'm just saying, there's sets that there's certain people who I know would be like, "Holy shit, you got that! You acquired that!"
Right,
They're
there's
not
going to
gonna
be
do it
yeah.
because it's not. If I put a picture of Lou Gehrig on the thumbnail, then more people would click on it, of course.
Right. And that's the thing.
Gehrig.
He said it.
Mickey
There's a lot of people that, it seems like we're seeing the same cards over and over again. Then you come to collectors channels like us, and we definitely not showing the same cards. I mean, my gosh, you'll see. I show you players from Virginia that nobody's ever heard of.
Big Scott 35 once did a video where he showed off graded Adam Hazley cards. So know you're getting variety on that channel.
Yes, in a Phillies uniform.
He's one of the sons of bitches that delayed, PSA. He caused this whole crisis getting goddamn Adam Hazley cards graded.
Yeah, and I hate to toot on. I don't know if I'm tooting because we get everybody judges on different things, right? Do I wish I had 6,000 subscribers? Of course. Who doesn't? But I don't. But my takeaway is I feel like there's the plus to having a very small group, because I get to actually talk to them and know who they are. And, when I meet them at a show, okay, most of them I've had a back and forth with. Some of them even good ones. So, not you, Carlisle. Anyway, show guys with their helmets falling off. There you go. You also show mustaches, umpires in the background. What else? All kinds of different stuff. But I'm going to end it here tonight. I think we've beaten this horse. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this. And, again.
Maybe that's how you can get some views, too. You title it, "We Beat a Horse," and then all the PETA people come in to leave you nasty comments and thumbs down. And they're like, what the hell are these assholes talking about?
Right. And just, if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're gonna enjoy it. So just find your niche, stick with it. If you don't like it, pivot. That's it. And if it doesn't work, move on.
You just got to do what you love. Like,
right.
Ed likes his local teams, the Phillies and Eagles, and he's started to lose the love of those a little bit, and his love has shifted towards the WNBA. I've never seen someone so infatuated with a single sport, but good for Ed. We got Big Scott, who loves his guy Gary Carter. He loves his, Winnie the Pooh, who we can see on the top there. He loves his, whatever he loves, his Pete Alonso. We got Dave, who obviously loves his rookie cards and his 80s guys. And some people would be like, Dave, why are you collecting 80s cards? Like, they ain't worth shit, even though there are plenty that are worth shit.
I will put my beer and hot dog on spot. Chris, I'm going to contact you. You're going to come on one Sunday night? I'm putting you on the spot, Chris. You need to come on. So I'll have you on and we'll talk a little bit. But anyway, let's end it there. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks for the lurkers. And until next time, like, share, tell a friend.
Have fun.
Subscribe if you haven't. Have fun. # watch the games. Would love to. Yep. Yeah. So next time, see ya.
Peace.